Football Live Show, Sundays at 6 p.m. for your football fix on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and PF Radio. Check out our website at properfootball.co.uk.
Right, hello, welcome to the Proper Football Live Show. It's Sunday and it's 6:30. Welcome everybody. We was off last week, so we're back in force this week, all four of us. So quick introduction. Hello Nigel, how are you, mate?
Hey mate, yeah, it was nice having a Sunday off last week, actually.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's all
you'll have a few more coming up.
Yeah, we've got Gary's had a drink. He's been on a barbecue all day. So how are you doing, Gary?
Yeah, gonna get a load of dribble out of me today, I'll tell you.
The usual then.
yeah, just the usual.
Hello, Greg. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, good. Very well, mate. Very good, thanks.
Mate. Good
Cool bit of currant bun in the garden today.
It's been a decent weekend, isn't it, to be fair? It's been all right.
It's lovely. Just anyone watching, please share the stream if you're on Twitter, YouTube, or on Facebook. Please share it. Give us a thumbs up. Right, so what a week of football it's been. Just watched the game there, but I think we're going to just start off with, I know Nigel's going to love this, but the National League playoff final, Notts County against Chesterfield. I think, apart from Chesterfield fans, I think everyone's happy that Notts County's gone up. What a game it was. You watched it, Greg, didn't you? As well.
I watched bits of it, yeah. I did flick over. I've got to be honest, to obviously Sunderland Luton, because that took priority for me. But yeah, I did watch bits, mate, and I caught the penalties as well. But no, I think it was a good result for football, if that makes sense. Obviously, it's a bit harsh on Chesterfield because they've had a fucking good season as well. But you know, it's like you can't have a team that finishes in excess of 100 points and don't go up. You know, it's just wrong, isn't it? Really.
Well, yeah, but I know what you're saying, but I always said that it doesn't matter all them games you played in the league. When you get in the playoffs, you see who turns up on the night. And I'll tell you what,
look at Peterborough. Look at Peterborough. Sheffield Wednesday.
So you know, I had a feeling it'd be a harder game than everybody thought with Notts County.
Yeah.
I mean, they only just snuck through against Bournemouth, didn't they? 2-0 down, and then 2 late goals. But it was a typical National League game. It had everything in it. Notts County weren't that great in the game, but a late equaliser again. Johnny Bostock took it. Then it went into extra time, and then it went to penalties. And Notts County brought their keeper on, their reserve keeper, massive big unit. I think he's on loan with Norwich, and 2 fantastic saves. And then John Bostock come up to win it, and he done a Panenka, hit the bar.
I saw that. I was like, what is he thinking? Do you know what I mean? It's crazy that.
I think it summed up why he never made it. He was like a Palace wonder kid, wasn't he, at 15? And I think that's probably why he never went on at Tottenham or.
It's true, but you know, you can't.
I'll tell you what.
When I saw him, I thought, go on, mate.
I was going to say the situation with the goalkeeper. Fair play to the goalkeeper taking that decision. You know, rightly. Probably the other goalkeepers better at penalties, because I played with Peter Shilton at Derby for a few years, and Shilton won't mind me saying this. He wasn't the best penalty saver in the world. He wasn't very good at all at saving penalties. So when he went to the penalties against West Germany in the semi-finals, I was thinking if that was me, I would have put, I think it was Clements, was it? Ray Clements? Yeah. I'd have sub Shilton and put the other goalkeeper on. So the fact that Notts County done that and both goalkeepers accepted the decision and it paid off, so fair play to them.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic to see him. And it was, I think his name was Jason Turner, their chief executive, Notts County, sadly passed away Sunday, only 50 last week. Yeah, they had his photo on the side of the pitch. So it was just one of them typical football days, like what makes football happen. So, well done to Notts County.
I've got to be honest, when that fella stepped up to score the winning penalty, the commentator said he was the one that missed against Wrexham, wasn't he, in the last minute? And I thought, I'll tell you what, I bet he was nervous.
And is it Macaulay Longstaff, the top scorer, 40-odd goals? He hadn't taken one penalty this season. So that was his first penalty.
Yeah, all 42 of his goals have come from open play, haven't
Yeah, and his penalty was pretty good and all, wasn't it? It was.
I didn't see it. Was that the first penalty? Was it?
Second, I think.
Oh,
second
or
third, I can't remember.
The oldest club in Football League, and it's right that they're back where they are,
Yeah.
It's right they're back where
The thing is, we're going to have, until they change the playoff setup in that league, until they sort of adjust the leagues, we're going to have this conversation time and time again because, there's so many big sides that are down in the National League and, even further down, down the chain now. And it's like, it's going to be the same again next season. Maybe not 100 points, but there'll be teams that are a big side, third, fourth, fifth.
When we look at who's gone up, and then Nigel will concur with this, obviously, but Wrexham, we beat Wrexham 2-0 to get promotion in 1982, and then in the 82-83 season in the Premier League, we come runners up. We were talking about this just before we came live. And Notts County beat Man United 3-2, giving up, and we beat Liverpool 2-1, and it allowed Watford to get runners up, which is the biggest achievement in the history of the club.
Yeah.
And this was, two clubs that have gone up this season. Wrexham, we beat 2-0, if you remember rightly, Nigel, that Tuesday night, and back in 82, and then obviously beating Liverpool. But it was Notts County that beat Man United 3-2. That actually give us the runners up. So these are two clubs.
It's like Notts County in the 80s, weren't they? They went through the leagues, didn't they?
Yeah, got a lot of history. So fair play to both clubs. They both
just going to round up on the National League. The Southern and the North playoff finals were today, and then the first game who was it? Greg? It was
Oxford City, St Albans.
St Albans City. Oxford City won, so that's the highest they've ever been. And they're going to be playing Rochdale next season, and Rochdale are playing Oxford.
Yeah,
this season, or something like that. So,
was it last, wasn't it? Because Oxford are League One last year.
Do you know what's mad about that? And I did see that. What's mad about that is, Oxford United, again, a club that have had its highs, including winning the League Cup. They were non-league only a couple of years ago, and now Oxford City are in the same league as what Oxford United were only a couple of seasons ago. It's just quite.
Yeah, and I really looked well because on their website about the Oxford City game, but I didn't know Bobby Moore managed them with Harry Redknapp as an assistant back in the 70s.
That, to be fair. Well, I saw today their managers was Ross Jenkins, and probably won't mean much to you guys, but me and Gary, he played for Watford.
Nigel played with Ross.
No, not him. Different Ross Jenkins. But he was like a young lad who played for us. And when I was going to football, probably 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah,
he was playing for Watford, and I was like,
his namesake was a legend, wasn't he, Nigel?
Yeah. and I was like, it made me feel old. That did, because I was like, Christ, as if he's like managing now. You know what I mean? It feels like he was like a youngster. Yeah.
In the northern section, it was Brackley Town against Kidderminster Harriers, and Kidderminster won 2-0. Wasn't it, Greg? I think so. They've gone back up with the National League.
Kidderminster. Just a quick one on them. They stuck in on the last day. They beat Kettering on the last day, and I think that sent Kettering down and got Kiddie in the playoffs. But Kidderminster have won 9 in a row. They were 14th about a month, 2 months ago, so they've gone on a hell of a run. And we all talk about momentum and getting in the playoffs. That's the story right there. That's a hell of a run.
We got to hurry up because we're going to put Nigel to sleep here. Come on.
Just a couple of comments. Alex Langley, without Wrexham and Notts County, surely Chesterfield should walk the league next season, perhaps with Hartlepool and Bournemouth being their only contenders. Yeah, you would think so. Wogan and Barnet had a good year and all, but yeah, you're right. Hopefully Chesterfield can.
Interesting stuff about money as well, though, wouldn't it? Obviously Rochdale and Hartlepool, when they go down, are they going to be in trouble? Are they going to be able to spend? And
Rochdale fan owned, didn't they? I think.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that's going to go.
Whoever said hi, Gary, I'm not sure. It just says Facebook user on here.
Yeah, I think that's from their public.
Hello, whoever you are. Hi.
That guy you met down the gay club last night.
Hey!
Right, let's crack on with Premier League. Let's start in Premier League and work our way down. There's some good games the weekend, and I think the title was over, innit? Would you say, Nigel? Brighton smashing Arsenal 3-0.
Brighton smashing Arsenal.
Greg mentioned momentum, and that's what City have just built up. I think that's 11 games unbeaten now, isn't it? They've won 11 games in a row. They're just like steamroller. Do you know what? I watched the match today, and they were 2-0 up, and I only just realised that they had De Bruyne and Grealish on the bench. So it just shows you how strong that squad is at the moment. And it really was. It was a polished team against a team of tries, really, with Everton. I don't think there's anyone in that side apart from Calvert-Lewin done quite well when he was on the pitch. But
how good was Gundogan, though, Nigel? His first goal, the touch on the knee and then the same foot. One of the best goals I've seen for a long while. And his cross, I didn't see his third goal, the free kick.
You see how high?
His third goal was lovely as well. Beautiful. It's like he just passed it into the net. Great goal.
What was that, Nigel?
I see how high Haaland jumped for that cross. I mean, he was head and shoulders above the other player.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? I mean, I've got to say about Arsenal. Look, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm going to piss Arsenal fans off a little bit here. But listen, if you're going to lose 3-0 at home, now Brighton for me are one of the teams of the season. Yeah. Fantastic side. They've done so well with the budgeting that they've done and everything else. But I'm sorry, if you're going to lose 3-0 at home to Brighton, you don't deserve to win the freaking title. Sorry. Simple as. I mean, come on. You don't win the Premier League losing at home 3-0 to Brighton, do you? So
to be fair, they just seem to run out of ideas really early today. You know, like Arsenal, at home, they're kind of on it against teams, and you've kind of got Odegaard through the middle, Saka one side, what's his name, Martinelli the other side. And they just seem to run out of ideas. But you've got to give credit to Brighton. They are a hell of a team.
You shouldn't lose 3-0. You shouldn't draw 3-0. It is like losing it. You shouldn't draw 3-0 home against Southampton.
No. They don't deserve to win the league on the basis of the last 6 or 7 results. However, you can't deny it. Arsenal have had a really good season. You can't deny it.
Yeah, no, for once, I don't think they've bottled it. I don't think the team bottled it. I just don't think they were consistent enough at the back end of the season.
They're not ready to win it, Nigel.
The squad ain't big enough or good enough. The squad
Arsenal of old would have bottled it, but fair play to them. They haven't bottled it. They've just come up against a team that are just far better than any other team in the league
as well, aren't they? A little bit, you know what I mean? It's
against the best team in the world, aren't you? I don't know if you watched the game in the Champions League against Madrid. They bossed it out. Real Madrid scored first, but a lot of England fans of other clubs don't want to see other English clubs win the Champions League. I want to see all English clubs win the European competitions. I've never read that.
I'll draw the line
in the week, in it, the second leg.
Yeah, I'll draw the line at Liverpool. The rest of them can win it, but not them.
Yeah, I want City to win. Of course, I want City to win the European Cup. Of course, I do. I want West Ham to win the conference. Of course,
yeah.
I'm
with you. I'm with you, definitely.
100%, mate.
But is that because we don't support teams who I know some Chelsea fans are Cundy on TalkSport. We don't want. We're never going to win it, so they don't want other top teams to win it to go against their.
I think if you support a top team, or you support a team or one of your rivals of that team, City, United, or even if you're an Everton fan, you're not going to want Liverpool to do well, that sort of thing. I think that kind of makes sense. I get that. Like you just mentioned Cundy there, he always sort of says negative about obviously Spurs in Europe and stuff like that. You get that. He's a Chelsea fan. I think that's normal. For me, if Luton were in Europe, I wouldn't want them to win it. I think that's just normal. I think you never want your rivals to do well, no matter what game or competition it is. But no, as a general, I think as long as the team's doing things the right way, they're exciting to watch. They're not hated as such. Then I don't see the issue with wanting the team to do well.
And you've got English players in there who play for England, and hopefully you want them to win things, so maybe they'll be better for England. But that's never going to happen with Southgate. But that's for another show that we've done already. I think the Premier League now is all about the titles wrapped up. It's all about the bottom three, isn't it? And who's going down. We lost Southampton.
Yeah.
No, go on, Greg. What was you going to say?
No, I was going to say one more thing about the top. I think if Arsenal, I heard it just before I come upstairs. If Arsenal if Arsenal lose to Forest, then it's done. But otherwise, I think if City go and beat Chelsea, it's Chelsea they've got next. If they go and win that, then they've won it.
They've got 3 games left, need another win. That's all they need.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But
But the bottom here, Southampton are gone. They've been 10 years up in the Premier League.
11, I think it was, wasn't it?
It's 11. I think they'll. I don't know how they get on. I mean, I heard Gary Neville in the commentary earlier, and they was talking about, is it James Milner's going to go to Southampton in the summer?
He's going to Brighton.
Oh, is he going to Brighton?
He's going to Brighton, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. That destroys what I was going to ruin Gary Neville then, but but yeah, Southampton are gone. But I mean, looking at the Forest's last games, Arsenal at home.
Oh, look at Leicester's last 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, but then do you know what? Football being football, right? Would it shock you if Leicester, good game against Everton, got a point. Then they went and collapsed against Fulham. If they went and beat Liverpool tomorrow night, would anyone really be shocked? Because that would just sum football up, wouldn't it?
You can't even predict these.
You can't predict these games. It don't matter who the teams are playing, you know.
I think Everton would be okay. Wolves away, Bournemouth at home. I think Everton could get maximum points from now or 4, so they'll be safe. I think Forest, Arsenal, how Arsenal can react. I don't know. Palace at home, we're a very good home side, so that could go either way. But so I can see Forest not getting another point. West Ham, Leeds, West Ham, Leeds, Tottenham, and then Leicester. So my three to go down to Southampton. We've gone Leeds and Forest are my three to drop. But yeah, like you say, it's a lottery. But what do you think, fellas?
So hard to predict. Like I was looking, at the Newcastle Leeds game yesterday, and I was like, I don't see Leeds losing that game. I think Leeds will get something out of it, which they did. And again tomorrow with Leicester, I can see Leicester getting something. And then you look at the Forest Arsenal game, which is going to be, I think, is it the early game? I know it's the late game on Saturday. And you think, well, Arsenal's not confidence, but Arsenal are going to be on the floor now. They know the league's done. They know they've qualified for the Champions League. They're going away to the City Ground, which is going to be absolutely bouncing. Would it shock you if Forest got something against Arsenal? I know some of these teams, their fixtures look harder than the others, but it's football, isn't it? I just don't know.
I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure about Everton at the moment. If Calvert Lewin's out for the season,
is he?
They don't look like they can score at the moment. And Wolves won't be an easy ground to go to. And Bournemouth, they're playing with no pressure on them at all. They're not going to go down, so they can go out and enjoy themselves. And they're not playing bad football at the moment, Bournemouth. So I can't see where Everton are going to score goals at the moment. They look like a hard-working side, which is what you'd expect from Sean Dyche, trying to get the team solid. But there's no flair in there for me at the moment. So I think they could struggle still.
And the thing is as well, Callie, one more thing, Callie, as well, is I know obviously people will counter-argue that and say, well, look at Everton last week. They went to Brighton and scored 5. But obviously that was just a massive off day for Brighton. We all know that. They were defence was all over the place and stuff like that. So I agree with you on that. What was I going to say? Looking at Everton today as well, obviously not scoring goals. Calvert-Lewin went off at half-time. I don't know if he was injured, but why else would you take Calvert-Lewin off and bring Maupay on at half-time if he wasn't injured? So, he could be injured again.
He's out. He's out for the season.
Right.
But we just got Gary. Someone's pulled you up on your point about.
I wanted to address that.
All right, so Earl Gardner, hello, Earl. He said because Gary's point about if you lose 3 out of Arsenal, you don't need to Brighton, you don't deserve to win the league.
I'd like to address that.
Earl Gardner said you could also argue then if you lose 2 at home to Brentford, you don't deserve to win the league, which City did. So.
Earl, listen, mate.
Is that a drink, Earl? So be careful.
Earl, listen, me old China. Earl, listen, mate. I think Arsenal have had an incredible season. I think they're a bloody good side. And they have done every Arsenal fan proud, in my view, and you should not at all be ashamed of Arsenal's season. It's been fantastic. However, I hear what you're saying, and yes, there will be always the odd result that the top sides will have. But I'm basing my opinion on the fact that you don't deserve to win that league based on the last 7 or 8 games. They've just not been right for any club that is going to win the Premier League that would absolutely, Southampton, West Ham, Brighton at home. Brighton have had a great season. I do agree that City lost okay to Brentford. Brentford, by the way, another side, had a cracking season. But, I hear you. I completely understand what you're saying, but I do disagree on the basis that I'm basing my opinion on the last 7 or 8 games. And I think Arsenal, as Nigel said, I don't think you bottled out. I just don't think you really are quite ready to win that league yet.
Without City, they would have won it at a canter. By 15 points.
You're never going to be without City.
But you look at Arsenal's record, girl.
If it ain't City, it's going to be Liverpool or it's going to be Man United. There's always going to be. Now, next season, going to be very interesting for Arsenal because I do believe Liverpool will come back. I think Man United will get stronger. Newcastle, well, we don't know where they're going to go.
Chelsea under Pochettino as well. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, Chelsea under Pochettino. Chelsea are going to come back. So next season, I think Arsenal will be up against not just one side, they're going to be up against 6 sides. But Earl, listen, mate, if you're Arsenal, which I suspect you are, completely agree, but I disagree on the basis that I base my opinion on the last sort of couple of months, and I think Arsenal ain't quite there yet.
You look at the losses, the top 3. Man City have only lost 4, Arsenal have lost 5, and Newcastle have only lost 5. I mean, that's pretty good going for a season, isn't it?
No, listen,
Arsenal. I agree with you, though,
Yeah, completely. And Earl, if you're an Arsenal man, be proud of your side. You've done. Listen, no one dreamed, and we all thought this was a 2-horse race at the beginning of the season. Liverpool, Man City. Look, and look what's happened. It's not. It's been Arsenal, Man City. So fair play, Arsenal, but you're not quite there. And if you're going to have results like you have over the last couple of months, I'm sorry. I will reiterate what I said. I believe you don't deserve to win the league based on these results.
Right. Just drop that. Anything else to add on the,
well done, Earl,
on the Premier League, mate?
No, I think like you said, it's all but over now, isn't it? Really, I can't see City dropping points. Like I said, when you can put De Bruyne and Grealish on the bench, give them a rest.
Yeah,
you've got some squad there, haven't they?
It's I mean, we've got to wait for this financial fair play. I don't know if these 100 and something charges they got against them, whether that's going to, whenever that will go through, is that next year? Will that come back and devoid this? Hang on, is it?
Mate, Earl's Man United.
Is he?
Oh, fair play, mate. No, I can see now why if you're not Arsenal, you're going to be Man United, isn't you? But look, Arsenal have had an incredible season. I ain't going to deny that, but don't think they're quite ready to win that league. Again, basing that on the last several results rather than just the one today.
Yeah, fair play.
But well done, Earl. Thanks for getting involved, mate.
But yeah, it's impossible. Back to the bottom 3, I think, like you said, Greg, it's impossible to predict any result, especially this end of the season. So,
like I say, I just wouldn't be shocked if we come on here next Sunday and Leicester have taken points off Liverpool. Forest have taken points off Arsenal. There's going to be so many ups and downs between now and the end of the season. I actually, when last weekend when Everton had that result against Brighton, and I think was it who else? Someone else won as well, and it put Leicester and Leeds in the shit, if you like. I turned around and said, would it shock you if Leeds got something next weekend, and Leicester got something, and Everton lost, and then it's roles reversed again? Do you know what I mean? With 2 games to go, so you just don't know,
see the difference Allardyce has made at Leeds, though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
He's made a big. If he would have been there a month, 6 weeks ago,
oh god, yeah,
they would have been safe without a doubt. Anything else to mention in the Premier League? Let's have a little look here. Tottenham lost again, but so Villa are looking good.
The last day of the season's 28th of August, isn't it?
Yeah, 28th is July, June, May.
Right, get her in the end.
Mate, it's me that's been on the side
February.
of the day. Come on.
Right, so we dropped down into the Championship. We've had the semi-final first legs, haven't we? So Sunderland 2, Luton 1. You watched that game, Greg, didn't you?
I did, mate. Yeah. I won't smile too much because there is a second leg. But
of course, I thought you
was a
Sunderland connection, but you're a Watford fan, aren't you? Obviously.
Yeah, well, I kind of got a Sunderland connection as well because my old man's Sunderland. But yeah, so I've been to a few of their games and stuff like that. But no, obviously, I'm watching it from a Watford point of view. It was a good game. It was a decent game. To be fair, Luton probably won't be too disappointed losing 2-1 up there. The game's well in the balance, and I've given a little bit of stick out here and there, but there's still another game to play, so anything can happen. But Diallo scored a hell of a goal. I don't know if you boys have seen it.
Yeah, I see that.
The free kick. Jesus Christ. He is some player. He really is.
We all know, Greg. Well, I know personally, but Luton's one of them grounds you don't want to go and play at.
Oh, 100%.
It's an old-fashioned ground. It's in amongst these houses, down alleyways.
Yeah.
Compact. It's a hard ground to go and win at. So, like you say, they'll be happy with 2-1. They've just got to get one goal to level the tie up, and they're strong at home, Luton. I hate to say it, but I fancy them to beat Sunderland at home.
Yeah, I think the only thing with Sunderland, I think what plays into Sunderland's hands with this is that they've got their away form's a lot better than their home form. They've got obviously young players. They'll play on the counter attack. They've got Roberts down one side, Clark down the other side, Diallo through the middle. They are in that level. they're a team to fear, really, when they attack you. And
I agree with you. Like, on a neutral pitch, what you're saying is probably right. What I'm saying is, I know when I played, there were certain grounds I didn't used to like going to Upton Park. Them closed grounds, baseball ground, Luton. Yeah. I mean, even Watford was a bit of a strange ground with a ground track around it.
Yeah.
So certain teams have a bit more of an advantage playing at their own ground, especially if they're not one of these brand new stadiums with no bumps on the pitch or anything like that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Luton's home form's quite good, Greg, isn't it?
Luton's.
Their own form's quite good.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, you know what you're going to get from them as well. It'll be long balls into the box. It'll be corner after corner, free kick after free kick. It's just going to be, Sunderland haven't got I think all their centre-backs are injured. So they're playing sort of makeshift players at centre-back. They've got no one over 6 foot. So, they are going to be tested. And like you say, an early Luton goal and the whole tide could turn. But on the flip side, if Sunderland get an early goal, that place is silent, isn't it? And then, so it's going to be one of them.
But the other game, Middlesbrough 0, or Coventry 0, as I say, Middlesbrough 0.
Yeah.
Wide open for the second game, isn't it? It's just...
I think Middlesbrough would be hard to beat at their place.
Yeah, my money would be on Middlesbrough.
But I think the reason the game was so tight is because they played each other on the last day, didn't they? Was that a draw up in Barrow, wasn't it? So there's three games within like a week and a half.
Yeah, but Middlesbrough didn't have to win that last game, did they, to stay in the playoffs?
Yeah.
The interesting thing about all this is that if Middlesbrough win and Sunderland win, then they're all in London along with Newcastle for the last.
Possibly Carlisle and all.
The Met Police are going to be rather busy that day.
The British Transport Police, I think, on the trains down.
But
I think Carlisle could be in the playoff final weekend as well. So they'll be coming down from.
And they do travel. Do you know? I've got to say about Carlisle. I've been keeping an eye on them.
They're about to play now, aren't they?
We'll keep everyone involved in touch on that one.
Yes, we talk about Plymouth, and Plymouth have got their promotion. They have a fantastic supporter base, travel in great numbers, and they have the longest distances. But Carlisle is another club that have to travel huge distance. Mate, they travel in numbers, Carlisle.
Well,
I really hope they get through.
We're going to come on to them. But I think we're halfway through, so I think let's have a couple of little... should we do a funny old game now? Should we just break up the chat? Let's get the old... clip on. Right, here we go. Funny old game. Right, so there's a little bit of a theme of these funny ones. It's about bad misses. So there we go. This one was from the Dutch Women's Football League. Have a look at this miss. Do you want to have another look at that? I mean, what was the keeper doing?
The more worrying thing is you are getting more and more into the old women's football. You really are, man. Oh, man.
I've travelled the breadth of the country to watch that. Yeah. Right. Here's another bad miss.
Right. Ball gets played back. It's a loose pass. Here's the young man, Lewis, who I was talking about earlier. See ya, keeper. Unbelievable. What a goal. Oh, my word.
You know what? That just confirms what Nigel says about these players in non-league football being overpaid.
Doncaster City, that was.
Was that what it was?
He didn't seem bothered either, did he, when he missed? He didn't have his head in his hands or anything like that. He just went,
He's very right-footed, wasn't he?
Dreadful.
Right, Nigel, I don't know what you was like. We could discuss this after this clip, but header of the ball. This is probably one of the best bullet-headed goals I've seen in a very long time.
That's the first time I've seen that.
Oh, do you want to have another look? Yeah, stick on it. Surely the concussion rule would have to come in on that one. I think he's right now. One more little. This is a little photo. This one. This is Coventry City, Middlesbrough. Someone had their ticket delivered for the game today.
Brilliant.
Leo, that is the Spaniel there, I think. But yeah, probably wish he never actually went. Didn't sound like a great game. But yeah, headers of the ball. Nigel, was you a good header of the ball?
Yeah, I've got quite a few goals in my head for a winger. But I used to be one of the top high jumpers in the county when I was at school. So I had quite a good spring in my step. Yeah, I was pretty good at headers.
It must have been difficult though, Nigel, being like you say out on the wing to actually be in a position to get the headers in. So
I got 2 against Sunderland when we beat them 8-0. First two goals I got were headers. But we always had this thing with Taylor that if Barnsley was on the left and he was looking like he's going to cross the ball,
right,
anything that got out the back gate on the back door, he'd bollock me. So it was natural instinct to get myself on the far post and trap anything that comes through. So, and that was the same with John. We picked up a lot of goals that way as well. But he drummed it into you, like even in training, if we didn't do it, it'd be bollocking us until it's like you're doing it without thinking.
Mm. So you don't see many good headers of the ball especially in the Premier League now. It's not you go back to the 80s and 90s. Mark Haitley was a fantastic header of the ball, wasn't he? Remember Mark Haitley at Rangers and
I played with Mark in the under-21s.
Did you?
Yeah, I actually started the ball on his head when he got the winning goal against Spain.
I remember you saying, yeah.
Andy Gray with another good.
Andy Gray, not with him professionally, but when I went to Villa, he was our first team coach. Sometimes when we had a friendly, he'd come and play in the team night. And I'll tell you what, I would have loved to have played a season with him in the same side as him because his runs are unbelievable. You know, the runs that he makes and the way he attacks balls. Sort of for a winger, that's brilliant.
I think being a Palace fan, one of my it was Mark Bright was very good in the air. He was good at the knock. I mean, it's not about scoring; it's about winning headers and knocking them down, aren't they? But he was an excellent header of the ball. But I think modern day, you can't look Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a great header of the ball.
He was to be fair, yeah.
I'll tell you what. Who else was good at what? And I've got to say congratulations to him because he got an OBE this week. Luther.
He did. He got an OBE, didn't he?
And he'd stick his head in where it hurts. You know, Luther frightened defenders.
We need to tap him up and get him on the show.
Yeah, he was good.
He'd come on as well. To be fair, he's good like that.
Yeah, he would. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. I met him a couple of times.
He's got time for everyone, hasn't he? He's superb.
Yeah. It's fantastic. He deserves that OBE.
Yeah, he does.
Like you say, he's got time for everybody.
Is he still involved at Watford? Is he still involved?
He's done a lot for Watford. You know, over the years.
He's not officially involved, is he, at the moment? I don't think. He is there. He's there most weeks and stuff, but I don't think he's officially involved at the moment.
It's by choice. Listen, there's a lot of shit going on between the club and the ex-players. They're not supporting the ex-players. So the little breakaway group that he's created, a nil price, the Players Association. There's a lot of not ill feelings, but you know they've got to start playing ball with us for us to play ball with them. So that's why Luther's he's not committing himself fully to it because he wants to get a few things sorted out for us before he goes, okay, I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look at the League One playoffs. So at both semi-final games and the big shot when it was Peterborough Sheffield Wednesday 4-0. I mean that's game over, isn't it?
It's got to be, isn't it?
Well, I just said on my show the other day 4-0 game over. We lost to Southampton 4-0.
Yeah, and then it was
7-1 at Vicarage Road. So
yeah, remember that.
You know, 4-0's not all over yet, especially like I said, if we turn up
Wednesday have just hit bad form at such a bad time, didn't they? Really, because they was kind of like struggling in the league. They fell off the pace with Ipswich and Plymouth, and then they kind of just all dwindled out, didn't it, towards the end of the season?
Such a big club as well.
Mm.
Oh, it's massive. 30-odd thousand they get it, don't they?
Yeah. This is the thing, like I was saying earlier about momentum with the playoffs. You know, you look at Kidderminster, what they've done, and obviously Peterborough got in on the last day. They're absolutely bouncing into the playoffs. The games 5-6 days later, and then they are. They've got the home crowd behind them. You get the first goal, and
Dan gone for a wee, is he, or what?
It's a second leg. So they've got to go to Sheffield Wednesday, have they?
Yeah, they've got to go to Hillsbury. Yeah.
Again, big ground, intimidating.
You'd expect the Sheffield Wednesday fans to be right behind them, and it's one of them, isn't it? Like if Sheffield Wednesday get an early goal, then it's going to be about can Peterborough keep their heads? Don't do anything silly. But the longer the game goes 0-0, or if Peterborough get a goal, that's it, done. Really, isn't it? You know what I mean? So,
Peterborough can ship a few goals in games and all, though, can't they?
They can.
They have been turned over quite easily. So what was the other?
Peterborough, another side that are really good at home, though. They've got a ground there. They don't lose many matches at home, Peterborough.
But they're a bit of a yo-yo team, aren't they? It's Darren Ferguson.
They've been up a few times, haven't they? They're a bit like a Rotherham, Barnsley sort of team. They go up, come down, but.
So talking of Barnsley, it was Bolton-Barnsley the other game, wasn't it? Which finished 1-1.
1-1, wasn't it?
That's all wide open, isn't it? Forever's going to go either way. So, yeah.
But Bolton have done well, haven't they? I mean, they've had a rough few years, Bolton.
Yeah.
I
think that will go to the wire, that one, to be honest.
Where they are. Like, so they had a bit of a points deduction, didn't they, a couple of seasons ago and languished down in League Two for a while. And they're a big club to be in League Two. They're far too big a club to be in League Two.
Yeah, 100%.
But, talking of League Two, we've got Bradford, Carlisle. Was that game kicked off, isn't it? What's the
7 o'clock kick-off, yeah. Yeah, it's just kicked off.
7 o'clock, I think it's still 0-0 out. Yeah, still 0-0. So, yeah, Bradford, they're a big club and all, aren't they, Bradford?
7 o'clock on a Sunday. What the fuck's all that about? This is going to get worse and worse. I'm going to have a rant now, right? Everybody, the EFL have signed a deal with Sky, which means that the Premier League got all these screwed up bloody start times. Well, now so is every other club. Like with our show, we try and do our show not to clash with football. Forget it, because there's going to be football 24 hours a day, the rate they're going.
We're on at 3 o'clock in the morning next week.
Do you know? Let's be honest as well. Let's be honest. Carlisle's not exactly down the road from Bradford, is it? I know Bradford's up north. But...
Exactly. 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. I'm sorry, and I'm going to swear now. What a lot of bollocks. Yeah. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. The football.
See, I think you can get away with the one last night a little bit, because last night was it 7:30 and it was Salford.
It ain't right for the fans.
The thing with that one, A, it's a Saturday night, and B, they're down the road from each other.
Yeah.
But Carlisle travelling down to Bradford on a Sunday evening is just wrong, isn't it? Really. It's
not for anywhere where Carlisle go, don't it?
Gary's spot on though. The EFL have signed a deal. They've got to show all the playoff games.
Yes.
And they can't clash, and they can't clash with the Premier League, and they can't clash with any other playoff game.
And so the 3 o'clock rule remains, which means what we're going to see now is, look, the Premier League have got a bit used to it. All the fans of Premier League clubs got used to having to play at silly Billy o'clock on a silly Billy day or evening, right? But now I'm afraid all you league supporters, because it ain't just a championship, it's going to be League One, League Two, be prepared. You're going to play Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. Modern football, eh?
Yeah. At least they get Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off.
Yeah, but they won't, will they?
Well, you mentioned them days.
Yeah. With fair play, Carlisle been brilliant this season. They struggled last year, didn't they? I think they just matched avoided relegation. But Paul Simpson's a bit of a club legend. Was he Derby, Paul Simpson?
Do you know what? I'll tell you something about Paul. They done a mate of mine, Colin Beresford, done an evening with Paul, and he wanted me to sort out the DJ and stuff before it and sort the mic out. And I had a chat with Paul, and he'd just joined Carlisle at the time because they were struggling. And they asked him whether he'd go up and sort of try and keep them up in the league rather than getting relegated. And he said he went up there and he's done all right since he's been up there. Been up there for a few games. He says, but he said to me at the time, I don't think I want to take the job permanently. But is he still there, is he?
Yeah, he's still there.
You know, he's done a really good job when he went to them, and obviously he's doing well now.
Yeah, I think he's a bit of a club legend now, isn't he?
I was going to get him on the show. I asked him whether he'd come on the show, and he said he would.
That's right, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, I remember you saying about Paul coming on.
Yeah.
Mate, that would be good to get a current manager on. Wow.
But, the other semi-final, I watched the game, Salford against Stockport County, and it was, I think Stockport got a few players out up front, so it was a bit one way, but Salford won 1-0. You had all the old class of, what are they called, class of 98, or wherever they was.
92, isn't it?
94, I don't know. Yeah, they're all back in it, and I think there was a little flag in the corner, and it was a big jar of Marmite, but it had Salford across the middle of it. And,
I didn't watch the game. I think it was briefly on the telly for about 10 minutes, but then I turned it over. But I read today that Sky were getting slated for being quite biased towards Salford. Did you watch it, or did anyone watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I think
they
had Nicky Butt on before. It was all the big names, isn't it? It's all about money for Sky, isn't it? Getting people into same as they're going to just be all over Wrexham, aren't they now?
Yeah, true.
But it was a good game. It was a typical second division game. Well, the old third division game. It was a good battling performance. But yeah, it's all back to Stockport, and that's a great little atmosphere there down there. So and they've had a great
season. They get a result, that is, as well. Stockport.
Yeah, they only come up last year, so great guns, isn't it? But yeah,
I just got to say, I've worked out who Facebook user is. It's QBR Dave. Mate, get your internet sorted and you can come back on the show. He's a good lad, Dave. He's a good lad. Oh, dear. So, he lives in Ireland, doesn't he? Bless him, in the mountains.
Greg, you highlighted the point about the FA Cup final was probably the last back. It's in June, I think, isn't it? But the FA in their wisdom have put on some coaches because there's a big train strike. I'm not going to comment on that one. Funny thing is,
your trains don't get a destination anyway.
No, I haven't been on strike because our little company don't go on strike. We haven't been on strike, but now we're actually balloting for action. So, anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
But yeah, Greg, so what you know more about this story, didn't you? With the there's no trains for the Manx to come down.
Well, I saw someone put it up and like kind of going mad about it. And so what the FA have done is they're laying on and well, I say paying for. They're laying on 60 coaches each for Man City and Man United, both to travel down. But they're charging adults 60 quid and kids 55 quid. Yeah, 60 quid adults, 55 quid kids. And don't get me wrong, some people have turned around on a status when we put it up and they've said, but the train would cost more. Probably would. But come on. If the FA are going to be doing something like that,
How much is a ticket on National Express then?
Exactly what someone put as well. Yeah,
exactly. What, 25 quid?
Yeah, but like people will say you can't do a gesture and then rip people off for that gesture, can you? It was only 2 years ago when the FA was saying how important fans were during COVID and all that.
FA, mate, that's what I say. Get it right. That's what I say to the FA.
But the point we're all missing here is why are the clubs laying on free coaches for their fans? Why Man United and Man City?
Why are the train drivers such a bunch of twats as well?
Why Man City, Man United? Break it up.
What?
Yeah, this ain't political. I'm going to take him off here. Hang on. I'm going to take him off. Anyway.
That's true, isn't it?
No, he's still going on about it. Yeah, so you stop talking about it, you can come back on. Hang on.
Train drivers, please.
Brilliant.
Most of you are football supporters. Come on, lads.
No, it's not.
What are you doing?
But yeah, why don't the clubs pay for it? How much is it going to cost them to put on 100 coaches each?
That's disgusting. Now, look,
I know I'm a... Tell you what, you imagine, right? You imagine you're a dad going down to that with your two boys. You've got to pay 60 quid for your ticket and 55 quid for your kids. Do you know what I mean? It's just shy of 200 quid before you've even bought a bloody bottle of water or a pint or a can of beer for the coach.
And the tickets are ton, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you got the match tickets, then you got your food down at Wembley. You're talking a 500 quid day.
Mate, look, let's get it right. Yeah, the FA will profit from this. We know this because any club, anyone out there who's ever travelled on a coach with your club, right? What would you pay? To go from London to Manchester, Manchester to London, whatever. What are you talking? 20 quid, 30 quid? I know with Watford, it's a tenner.
Well, no, Watford last season done, I can't remember how much it was. Was it 15 or 20? It was more than a tenner, but it was the same price for anywhere in the country. So if you went up to Borough, you paid the same price as you would to get to Reading or QPR.
The point being is,
was that in a Harry Potter coach as well, Greg?
When I went to Luton, I saw them buses. I was like, I ain't getting on one of them.
That was funny. That was funny. But listen, let's be honest. The FA are a disgrace. They are
Alakazam.
Scandalous. It's just hypocrisy from top to bottom, mate.
I genuinely didn't realise this was happening. It's the first I've heard of it. And I just think the FA should hang their heads with shame. They will make quite significant profit
100%.
from this.
100%. It's not going to. You know, you've got a coach
with £65.
Yeah,
mate. I'm not being funny, but you can get reasonable train tickets. By the way, Manchester to London, you can get reasonable ones.
Yeah.
I bet if you shopped around and you booked them early enough, you'd get them under that price, guaranteed. Yeah. That is disgraceful. Sorry. That is absolutely disgraceful. Let's give me the ump now.
So, anything else anyone wants to bring up? Yeah.
When's Gary's rant?
When's Gary's rant?
I think he's just had it, hasn't he?
When's Gary's rant?
The FA and the train drivers for screwing up. And you go, I mean, look, I'm not no Manchester fan, but come on, train drivers. Why are you targeting the FA Cup final?
Not the train drivers, it's the unions, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, fair play. Why are you behind them horrible unions then for screwing up the FA Cup? Come on. Tell the unions no, we'll do it on another day.
The thing is, though, mate, even if they moved, you know, I saw someone comment on the same post and they said, well, why don't they just move the cup final? It's not as easy as that. But even if they did, all the unions would do is have a strike on that day. Because they're this is nothing towards Dan or anything like that, but it's like they want to target the big events. You know, they've done it for the Eurovision. They're doing it for the FA Cup final.
Yeah,
they'll do it for something else later on in the year. They'll probably do it for an England game in June. You know, they're gonna keep targeting these events that thousands of people are travelling to.
Yeah, no, of course, you're absolutely right, Greg. Dan, you know you've switched that it'll automatically go to the the page. They're just coming up as Facebook user, not without their name.
Yeah, you can join, I think, on the restream. It's something the Facebook user.
I've shared it on quite a few. I've shared it on different pages this time as well, so that might be why.
It's interesting though, because they're saying cost me £35, including London transport from Crewe to Brentford 3 weeks ago. FA, hang your heads in shame. You're a disgrace.
They're making money out of
a disgrace.
A difficult situation, mate.
They're a disgrace, mate.
But it's football, isn't it?
Like I say, it's just the hypocrisy that gets me. You know, if they'd never said anything, then okay. But they come out 2-3 years ago and telling us how wonderful fans are and how we need the fans, we need this. But at the end of the day, if the true fans, because let's be honest, it doesn't matter what you think of the top clubs, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, they've all got proper fans. They have that go week in, week out, season ticket holders, whatever. Right? If they don't go, if they all boycott and go, well, the trains are on strike, I ain't paying 60 quid for a coach, I'm not going. We'll watch it down a local pub. Then tickets, it would still sell out. It would just be sell out to tourists. It would still sell.
How many does a coach hold these days? Because some of them hold up to 70, don't they?
Yeah, 52 to 70.
60, is it? So I don't know. But
yeah, like, 52-seater coach filled up with adults, that's going to bring a revenue of £3,380 in.
For one coach.
For one coach. Are you telling me the coach companies are charging $3,500?
You're better off doing a minibus with your mates, isn't you?
Yeah. It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, Manchester as a whole, mate, Salford Van Hire do a great deal on minibuses. Do not take up the FA on their offer. Tell them to go screw.
Get your van out, girl.
Hey?
Get your van out and make a bit of money.
Mate, you've got Salford Van Hire. Get into there, get some minibuses booked. That's it.
Right,
sorry,
I forgot.
Guys.
We haven't done the good old days. Nigel, I was thinking about, like, because it's coming up the end of the season, have you got any stories about pre-season tours or end-of-season tours? And I'll put you on the spot there, mate, but...
Yeah,
did you ever go abroad with Watford or Derby?
We only really started going away when we got into the first division and the FA Cup final. We weren't the team that got offered all these Dubai holidays and all that, like it was the Arsenal and Tottenham. But we done a good one, the Australia Malaysia and New Zealand one was about 20 days, I think.
Did you?
And we actually played 3 warm-up matches for New Zealand before the World Cup. And it was the first time that New Zealand had ever got to the World Cup. And we played in Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch. And the second game we played was in Wellington. And the New Zealand players said, you don't realise how privileged we are and you are today. And I said, why? He said, this is the All Black Stadium. No other sport gets played in this stadium apart from rugby.
Wow.
And it said this has been the first time they've ever let a football match on it. And it's only because New Zealand got to the World Cup final.
Yeah, I remember him in the World Cup that year.
So it was awesome. And the stadium was unbelievable. They got, on one side, they've got 3 tiers. Because they call it Windy Wellington, they get some like proper windy weather over there. They reckon when it's really windy, they have to shut off the top tier of the stadium because it rocks forwards and backwards like that.
Wow.
Did they do the hacker night or anything?
Yeah, so it was good. I mean, we played 1 game in Australia, we played the 3 games in New Zealand, we played 2 matches in Malaysia. And then the year after that, I think we done Trinidad we done Jamaica. For 7 days. That was because of Luther and Barnsley. We also done a 20-day trip to China straight after the Jamaica thing. Wow. And then the final one we done with Watford when I was there was we played in a tournament over in Thailand. I think Chef Wednesday were over there at the time as well. So
I didn't realise teams did it back in the 80s like that.
Pardon?
I didn't realise teams went away like that in the 80s. I thought that was a new thing, but that's
when I joined Villa. I mean, Derby, we didn't really go places with Derby. It was just I'm at sort of somewhere in Mallorca at the end of the season for a week, playing me all. But when I was at Villa, we during the international break, we were going to Trinidad and Tobago to play a couple of matches over there, and we went down to play Tottenham on a Tuesday at White Hart Lane, and then we was going straight from there to Heathrow Airport, or getting a plane the next day to Trinidad and Tobago. And we went down there and Chris Waddle destroyed us. We got beat something like 4-0. And we're all sat in the hotel at Heathrow and we're all going, I can't wait to get out there, a bit of sunshine, have a good time and all that lot. And we're all excited about it. And Taylor just stood up and he went, I hope you don't think you're coming over here for a piss up after that display. All the faces just dropped like that, So, but we got over there and that's where we got Dwight York.
Really?
Yeah, that's where they felt. We played against Trinidad and Tobago twice, and he had a good time. He had a good game, and they got Dwight to come over for a trial, and they signed him pretty soon after he came over.
Really? That's how he got the Villa. Dwight York.
Villa,
yeah.
Ah.
So, what did you get a sort of free rein when you was out there nights? Could you go out on a night out on any of them tours, or was it?
He's gone to a side when we're in the hotel, and he's bollocking us for that, and he went, I wonder how many of you can have a good night out without having a drink. I wonder how many of you can have a good night out without a drink. And we're all like heads down like that. As soon as he left, we're like, fuck off. I mean, like when we got there the next day, I mean, we weren't training the next day because of jet lag and all that lot. He said, right, he says, you can go out tonight. He said, I believe they put on a little doofy at one of the clubs. And he says, but I wonder how many of you can go out tonight and have a good time without having a drink. And so, heads down. As soon as we got out the door, I was like, hey, get him in. But, yeah, it is the sort of like with Taylor, it was like you take your matches seriously. So until the matches were over, then we had 3 days in Malaysia where they took us to a hotel, really nice hotel on the beach, and we could do what we wanted. So long as there was football involved, it was no drinking, no going out late or anything like that until the game's over or the tournament's over.
Right.
Even if it was in the end of the season, but it don't really matter.
So I wonder how much Watford and Derby and them teams got for that. I mean, was it all expenses paid? I suppose you wouldn't know, would you, if it was all laid on? And
they had to. I do remember they had to give you when we went to play the Australia thing. We was away for about 20 days, and I think they have to, if they're taking you away on business, which is class says, they have to give you £50 a day expenses. So you get £50 per day for the 20 days you're over there. And then obviously, there's win bonuses were negotiated. So when we played New Zealand and stuff like that, if we beat them, we get £200. If we drew, we get 100 or whatever. So, and you used to get paid out with that cash while you was over there. So it's quite good.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, the club must have got some money from the people organising it in Australia or Malaysia. I mean, that's a lot to take a whole squad of players over for 20 days. That's a lot of money, isn't it? To flights, accommodation. That's
it was a big one for us because it was the first time that Watford had actually been abroad on tour. So I mean, when we went to China the year after, it was we had the 1 week in Jamaica where Taylor said, "Enjoy it because I won't be there with you, so you'll have a good time." And then he said, "But remember, we've got a tour of China coming up. We had 2 games in Peking and 1 in Shanghai." And I always remember the first game he went to because it's still very much sort of communist, sort of backwards culture over there, and they're all going around on push bikes. Not many people have cars, only the rich people. So we turned up at the stadium that night to play their national side, and there was about 70,000 push bikes parked outside the grounds, and they've all got registration plates on them. And I'll try finding your bike after the bloody match. We went in there. We played the first match, and I think the president or the mayor or whatever was in the director's box. They're playing the national anthem, and they're all stood up, proud. And come half time, we're about 40th minute of the first half. We're about 3-0 up against the national side, and the crowd are booing, and the keeper's not having a good game. And they subbed the keeper 5 minutes before the end of the first half. And I felt so sorry for the guy. He walked off the pitch. He had his head down, looking at the floor. The crowd were baying for his blood. They were throwing things at him. And I was like, come on.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah. He probably never played for that team again, I tell you. So, yeah, it was a good 3 years that we had.
Fantastic. Little update in the football. Bradford City 1-0 up against Carlisle.
They were my tip. They were my tip at the start of the season to win that league.
Mark Hughes, their manager, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it's fantastic. It is an old Premier League ground, isn't it? 3 sides of property.
I'm going to accumulate on the 4 divisions. I had Burnley and Man City.
Right.
But I did have Bradford's.
I did a playoff accumulator, and I had Sheffield Wednesday, so that's gone straight out the window already, isn't it? Good evening, Stuart Higgins and Ian Hills, or Hiles. Stuart saying let's all laugh at Arsenal. And Ian, a very late check-in. Sorry I missed the show, finishing off my birthday weekend. Happy birthday to you, mate. Anyone want to say we're running down the last couple of minutes? Anyone had anything else, Gal? Any more rents lined up or anything?
I think just to let everyone know that obviously 28th is probably the last show we're going to be doing for the season. We'll be having a break between 6 or 7 weeks, like we did last year, and we've got a lot of ideas and plans to start next season with a bang. We're going to review and reformat this show. We're going to be looking at a lot more content for our website moving into next season. So quite excited about some of the ideas. And obviously, like I say, 28th, we will be wrapping up. Keep an eye out for any adult shows. But yeah, we'll be back bigger, better and stronger for the new season. That's it from me.
Yeah, definitely. So,
I just saw one more thing. Sorry, not important really, but obviously we've spoke about VAR a lot on this show, haven't we, in the past?
Yeah.
And I just saw that apparently Howard Webb's going to be on Monday Night Football tomorrow night as the guest, and he's obviously part of the PGMOL. So I don't know what questions they'll be allowed or what he'll answer tomorrow night, or if they'll delve in a bit more into VAR. But obviously they've got an actual person there who's dealing with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Howard Webb was a brilliant ref, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah.
He's changed a lot since he's taken over. I can't think he's taken over for, but
he's
great.
Do you know when they do these Q&Rs, all right? Q&A, should say. See, I don't know whether Howard Webb's agreed to go on tomorrow, but I know when I was working in nightclubs, and we used to get these soap stars on it, pop stars, and you do your Q&A with them. I had to actually go and show them what questions I was going to be asking them, and they would say, "I don't want you to ask me that one because I'm not going to answer it."
Yeah.
So some of them, I don't know whether he'll get shown what questions they want to throw at him. No, because it's not off the cuff. But I think everything's scripted.
We Let me get back on the show.
Is that you, Darren? Freezing him?
Did you ever?
Is he talking about train drivers again? Is he? Oh, put him back on. Hang on.
We didn't get a word, Gal.
Girl, you froze, mate. You froze. Say it again, girl.
Am I still froze or am I back on?
No, you're back on.
I'm back on. What I was saying was, hopefully, we are trying. Oh, fucking hell, man.
No, go on, mate. Go on. I'm trying to get Keith Hackett on.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we're going to see if we can get Keith Hackett on, which would be great. And he has a lot to say. I've watched some of his interviews, and they're really good.
Yeah, I do like Al Webb, though, and he posted some. I haven't watched it yet about I think it's America, but what they're going to try and do here, maybe you can hear what the referee and the VAR are talking about.
Yeah,
you can hear what they're actually going through, and I think that'd be a great help to.
I tell you, I might be able to get next season. Well, I'm pretty sure will be Jerry Armstrong.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I've messaged him a couple of times, but he's so busy, isn't he? He's so busy. But he did reply to me and said, yeah, like he's up for it, but it didn't really go.
I know Jerry quite well because when I worked in Magaluf for the summer, met up a few times when we had a drink there.
He lived in Spain, didn't he? Yeah.
He's got some great stories.
The thing is, personally as well, I'd love to speak to him about like La Liga because I love obviously my European football and South American football and that, and obviously he commentated on La Liga.
He was one of the main
guys and he was out there and everything, Mallorca and whatever. I'd love to. Just personally, I'd like to speak to him about that. But you look at also the as well. Be a great.
The '82 World Cup and all. That's one of my first proper memories of World Cup football, and with Northern Ireland team out there, out in Spain. I always remember that. So it'd be great to get.
Tell you what, if we got him on, I don't think an hour would be long enough because you look at his ex-clubs. You know what he's achieved, also with Northern Ireland as well.
Spanish football as well.
Yeah, plus going out to Spain, plus his commentary and all that.
When he came back from the World Cup, he got best European player or something, did he? Awards.
Well, I don't.
The World Cup.
I've heard him on TalkSport, mate, and TalkSport gave him half an hour, and that's something else for TalkSport.
I'm sure he started on the bench, though, didn't he? When Watford got him, when he came back from the World Cup, he was on the bench for the first game of the season.
Right.
Was he?
I'm sure he was, yeah. I was a little bit... He's just got that award at the World Cup, and he's on the bench.
Well, I know the four of us will all be talking long and hard through the close season on how to take the show forward and plan some different things. I'm looking forward to the break so that we can rejuvenate and I think review what we've done and look at how we take the show forward, how we take our social media forward. So everyone, all I can say is watch your space because it's going to get bigger and better.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like even though the shows are going to stop, the social media is not going to stop because there's always football news, whether it's managers coming, going, players coming, going.
And there's nothing stopping us doing ad hoc shows here and there.
Yeah, it was a Women's World Cup and all.
Oh fuck!
He's really got it bad for the women now.
I'm going to Australia to watch it.
There must be some good football ground. That's all I can say.
Dan, Jesus, man.
Yeah, so we're going to be on every week for the World Cup, Women's World Cup.
You are
every day, and Gary's hosting.
So are we back on next week? You're away in your next week, girl. I'm away for the last show on the 28th. But
are you available next week?
I think I am. I'm not sure. I'll have to
double check. I'm going to struggle with next week, but I'm definitely here for the last show on the 28th. And Nigel, Greg, hopefully you'll be on, Greg. And hopefully
I should be fine for next week. 28
on the 28th. If not, we'll get.
I think I'm okay.
If not, Nigel, what we'll do, we'll get a couple of people on the 28th who have been on the show with us this year and do a nice review of what we've gone through this year. Some of the highlights and stuff like that would be great. So hopefully people will tune in and enjoy that as well.
I think I'm all right for both, to be honest with you. I think so. Oh, actually, no, hang on. 28 will be all right. Yeah, I'll be all right.
That'd be nice. We'll get someone on who's been on the show with us. I know Dan ain't available, but it'd be nice to have a bit of a review. I know I did write down all your predictions, and guess what? I lost them.
It's a touch.
Well,
You've probably done us a favour anyway.
We can reminisce. I'm sure we can reminisce some, but it'd be nice to have a bit of review on the 28th, and also thank everyone who's been watching us, supporting us. It's been an interesting season and some great highlights for the show. John Barnes probably being one for me at the top. Having him on was phenomenal. What a great show that was. You know, we've had Tony Coton on. We've had Steve Sherwood on, Steve Terry on, Phil Kavanagh, you know, fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Been a great year, and great season.
And I am going to be organising the proper football garden party for the summer as well.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this space, Greg and Nigel.
Yeah.
You've got them there dates. Many people, and we can have
just
give
us notice though, and then
look, it'll be July probably sometime because there's no point doing it in August because there'll be too much football going on. Yeah, so probably sort of early part of July. I'll let you know, and I'm going to invite a number of people along who've been involved with the show.
Do a live stream. Go live.
Yeah.
Well,
free bar.
And one more thing to say as well. I mentioned it to Gal. Obviously, you two have done the vlogs in the past, and you've gone to grounds. And I know, Dan, you've done one. Gal, Callie, you obviously went to. What was the one you done recently?
Colton
Town. Yeah. So really next season, Kettering, who obviously Gary near you. You've got to watch them a few times. They've gone down into the league. Stourbridge are in. So next season, hopefully, we'll get along to that. Either at Stourbridge or at Kettering.
Absolutely.
I'll come up for it.
And I'm going to be looking at doing a couple of Carlisle games up in Carlisle.
Yeah, nice.
Because my work has sort of taken me, and I'm looking at possibly Stranraer in Scotland, maybe some because my work has taken me north. Right. So definitely. Definitely do some more blogs next season. It'd be great.
Brilliant. Are you on later on your Mixcloud, mate?
Yeah, I'll be on at 9:00 Sunday chill out session.
So everyone can see the stream there. Mixcloud, it's pretty easy stream to follow. So yeah, have a good show, Nige. Fortunately, my controller's broken. Anyway, thanks everyone tuning in. Hope we'll have a great rest of the weekend. We've only got a couple of hours left. But we might be back on next week. Just keep an eye on our social medias, and but we're definitely back on the 28th for the last show. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us, lads, and we'll see everyone soon.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.